In the days of old, when the lands were yet unbroken, and the stars still gleamed upon the unclouded sky, the question of power and its rightful wielder was of great concern to the wise. For it is known that in the hearts of men there is a desire for dominion, a thirst for glory, and a perilous love of self. Yet not all who seek power are fit to bear it, and many who desire it are unworthy of its weight. For power is likened to a great burden, as heavy as the One Ring itself. And only those of pure heart and unshaken purpose may wield it without being corrupted. It is not the crown, nor the scepter that marks a true leader, but the heart that beats for others, and the hand that shields the weak. When the time comes that men must choose a leader, let them not seek one who hungers for power as Sauron did, for such a one will bring ruin to the land and sorrow to the people. Rather, seek one who comes reluctantly to power, bearing it as a burden, yet with a heart of courage and a will tempered by humility. It is not in the high towers nor the great halls that true kingship is born, but in the simple acts of care, in the defense of the helpless, and in the quiet strength of those who serve not themselves, but the greater good. For even the smallest act of kindness, the softest voice that speaks for the weak, these are the marks of a leader who will protect the realm from shadow. There is no greater duty of the ruler than this, to guard the innocent and defend the helpless. Like unto the hobbits of the Shire, whose hearts are free from the weight of the world, the babes and children of the land must be shielded from the evil that seeks to destroy them. For in their laughter is hope renewed, and in their future is the promise of better days. Remember that in the dark days of Mordor's rising, it was not for gold or glory that the Fellowship set forth, but to preserve the peace of the humble folk who knew not the weight of war. So too must any ruler, any leader of men, stand first and foremost as a protector of those who cannot defend themselves. The sword is wielded not for conquest, but for the protection of the innocent. In the great stories of old, it was always the proud, the selfish, and those who sought their own gain who fell to ruin. Morgoth, the first Dark Lord, was cast from the light because his heart grew haughty, and Sauron after him took the same path, seeking dominion over all. But the wise know that the world is not ours to rule, but to steward, for it was made by one far greater than ourselves. Let no man think himself master of the world, for we are but caretakers, and our duty is not to ourselves, but to the Creator and his designs. To put self before the will of the One is to tread the path of Isildur, whose desire for the ring led to his downfall and to the long shadow that followed. Thus, a leader must place the will of the One, whether he names him Eru or Ilúvatar, or by another name, above all selfish desire, seeking not his own gain, but the fulfillment of a higher purpose. Know this too, that to lead is to serve. The good king or steward does not sit idly while his people suffer, but like Aragorn at Helm's Deep, he stands at the front lines, a shield to the helpless and a sword to the oppressor. His heart beats not for the pomp of courts, nor the praise of men, but for the welfare of those under his charge. For the people are not a flock to be sheared for the king's wealth, but children to be guarded, as Gandalf guarded the free peoples against the dark will of Sauron. When the time comes for battle, a true leader will not sit upon a throne and command others to die in his stead. He will be in the thick of the fray, facing the darkness, that his people might know peace. Thus it is that in all things the ruler must think first of his people and last of himself. For power, when wielded with humility, becomes not a weapon of tyranny, but a beacon of hope And hope, as we have learned, is stronger than the darkest shadow. Therefore I say unto you, choose your leaders wisely, guard the innocent with all your strength, and seek the will of the Creator above all else. For in these things lies the path of righteousness, and in this path the world may yet be saved from the growing darkness. The children are lamps that must stay lit. The self is a shadow that must submit. Hope will always be found in those whose hearts are that of children, and not of the servants of evil who wish to serve the shadow that is the self.